Welcome, it's John Reid, the Rector here at Larbert High School. Thank you for making the time to find out all about our S1 curriculum. I'm going to give you an overview of our curriculum, and then you're going to get a bit of a flavour of what we're all about through some additional sessions that you can browse at your leisure. So let's begin. First of all, what I'd like to do is just to have a look at the bigger picture. So there's no doubt that school is about coming and having a good time with your friends, but most importantly, it's coming and learning in and out of classes, picking up new skills and getting work ready, because ultimately it's about getting ready to leave school and move into a positive destination. Now, I do realise that this is a long way off for S1 pupils, but we do need to know about the direction we're travelling in. And what this graph shows is the percentage of school leavers from Larbert High over the last 10 years or so who moved into a positive destination when they left school, either at the end of S4, S5 or S6. And a positive destination is either on to uni, college, a job, an apprenticeship, a training scheme or volunteering. Now the green line is Scotland, the red line is Falkirk, all of the secondary schools in Falkirk, and the blue line is Larbert High. And two things to point out about this graph. Overall, there's an upward trend, and Larbert High is always above both the Falkirk and the Scottish average. Of course, there's blips from year to year because every year is different, but last year, in possibly one of the toughest economic climates in a generation, just under 97% of our leavers were successful in securing a destination. That is phenomenal. And what it shows, and what it should give you confidence about, is that we know what we're doing, the curriculum we're offering is working, the learning and teaching in our classes is excellent, and the support our young people are offered is first class. Every year we produce a poster which celebrates the success of our young people in their exams and in all of the other achievements that have taken place in school. And we share that with pupils at the start of the year and display it right across the school. And you can take a closer look at that by scanning the QR code. When we present this to pupils, we focus on three key characteristics. First of all, to keep on going when things get tough. Secondly, to be really clear and focused on what the end goal is. And lastly, to make sure that they tap into their own strengths and those of the people around them. And there's no doubt it's a really tough world out there. So those characteristics are going to be required more than they ever have done before. And we want to make sure that our young people, even our S1s, know what it is they need to do in order to be successful and make the most of their time here. So good support, excellent learning and teaching, and a really strong, clear curriculum plan will allow our young people to experience success. And this is our curriculum plan. Again, you can scan the QR code or download it from our website. It's in the Our School tab at the top, and if you then click our school handbook section, you'll find it there. But what this does, it sets out what our curriculum looks like within each year group, and it illustrates how one year flows into the next. And there are two main principles that I'd like to point out to you. Anything that's in a very light green colour indicates that our young people get to make a choice. And anything in the slightly darker green is about providing support. So you can clearly see at a glance that our curriculum is about personalisation and choice and a really healthy dose of support. And that's because we absolutely believe if young people are hooked into their learning, if they're sitting in classes and subjects that they actually want to be in, then there's a much greater chance that they're going to be successful. Now, I'd encourage you to spend a bit of time having a look at that. I don't know of a school anywhere else that offers the same number of choices, courses, subjects and types of qualifications that we do. It really is first class. And the appropriate support and input will be provided along the way to help make the correct choices. So if I focus in on S1 a little more, here is what their curriculum looks like. We run what we call a 32 period week, and a period is just a block of time, all of them being 50 minutes. And in most subjects, where there are 4 periods, it will be timetabled as 1 double, so 100 minutes, and 2 singles, so 2 lots of 50 minutes. Now, what I'm about to describe will obviously be tweaked if your child is in one of our academies, And this year we've got our highest ever number of pupils in an academy, just under 95% of our new S1. So we're very excited about that. They provide an enhanced experience in one curricular area, but crucially it's all part of the DYW agenda, developing the young workforce. And there are links within each academy to appropriate governing bodies, further or higher education links, and links with industry employers. So it's about that focus of developing a work-ready mindset in our young people. So let me just take you through this then. So 4 periods of English and literacy, that does what it says on the tin. Within modern languages, there will be a rotation of Spanish, following on from what has been covered in primary, and French and German. And later on, further up the school, there will be the opportunity to study Italian and Mandarin. Humanities is a mix of geography, history, modern studies and RMPS or RE. Maths, again, is pretty straightforward. In science, taught by one teacher, there will be elements of biology, chemistry and physics. Technologies consists of 1 period of enterprise, 1 period in our practical workshops and a period in our IT suites, looking at CAD design and graphic communication. Expressive arts, delivered by specialist teachers, will be a period each of art, drama and music. And then health and wellbeing is 3 periods of PE, 2 periods of FCT, that's cooking, and a single period of MESP. Now MESP is like personal and social education, mental, emotional, social and physical health and wellbeing, and that's taught by pupil support teachers. So it's a great curriculum, and if you have a look at our plan, you'll see how it flows from S1 into S2 and so on. Now at this stage, I thought it might be useful if I introduced you to the SQF Framework, because schools and qualifications can be a bit confusing these days. And I know that qualifications and exams and things is also a wee bit away, but I do think this bit will be useful and hopefully put into context where we're heading. So SCQF stands for Scottish Credit and Qualifications Framework. And quite simply, every single type of qualification in Scotland that you can think of will be placed somewhere on this framework. It's a scale that goes from 1 to 12, and the higher the number, the more difficult or advanced the qualification will be. And it covers everything that we would ever do in school, so things like hires. It includes things like HNCs and HNDs that you would normally find in college, and degrees at universities and even PhDs too, right at the top of the scale. So these are probably the qualifications that you'll be most familiar with. These are the ones that are most common in Scotland's schools. And they replaced all the things that came before. So standard grades, O grades, intermediates, etc. We don't have any of them now. This is what we've got. So National 3 all the way up to Advanced Higher. There are some differences in these qualifications. For instance, there's no exam with National 3 or National 4. Teachers do all of the assessment in class from the bits of work that the pupils produce. And getting a good set of National 4s opens up the door to apprenticeships, training programmes and into some college courses too. National 5, Higher and Advanced Higher do have external exams that take place every year as directed by SQA, the Scottish Qualifications Authority. So that seems nice and simple. However, as schools look to develop their curriculum and offer their pupils greater choice, that influences the type of qualifications that can be offered. So in Larbert, we also offer these types of qualifications in light blue. These are the ones that are traditionally not offered as much in secondary schools or may really have been offered at college before. But we do offer these ones, some of them in partnership with Forth Valley College. So as a couple of examples, we offer HNC in Applied Biological Sciences, or in Police Studies, or in Sports Coaching and Development. We offer foundation apprenticeships in 9 subjects in things like engineering and hospitality. So a really diverse range of qualifications and subjects, normally available from around S4 time. And these ones don't really have exams either. They're continually assessed by the teacher or the lecturer. But of course, you will most likely be familiar with the CFE levels because that's the course your child has been following for the last 7 years or so. And that's what our courses are planned around in S1, S2 and S3. We mainly cover work within the 3rd and 4th Curriculum for Excellence levels, but of course we also have young people who are working at the 1st and 2nd level. But handily, 3rd level in Curriculum for Excellence has the same level of difficulty and more or less the same content as a National 3 qualification from the SQA. And likewise, 4th level in CFE broadly equates to a National 4 qualification. Now remember, these National 3 and National 4 qualifications don't have exams. They're internally assessed by teachers using the bits of work that are completed in class. So we keep those bits of work, so essays that are written in English, or an investigation report in science, or a talking assessment in Spanish. We just keep them, we pop them into a wee folder, and when it's appropriate, we'll use them to make sure that our young people have their achievements recognised with an appropriate qualification. And if I'm now thinking about the SQF framework that I talked about earlier, well, here's how it matches up. So 4th level in Curriculum for Excellence, broadly the same as a National 4 qualification from the SQA, which is the same as Level 4 on the SQF framework, and so on. I hope that makes sense and you're still with me. So let's go back to that SQF framework just for a minute. Now here are the main levels that we cover in secondary, so levels 3 to 7. And I'm going to match that up with the CFE levels in S1, S2 and S3. So level 3 on the SQF framework more or less matches up with 3rd level in Curriculum for Excellence, and so on. Now you'll note that the highest CFE level is 4th level. And if I then add in the more traditional or familiar SQA courses, you can see that Advanced Higher is at level 7 on the SQF framework. A Higher is at level 6, and so on. So the question is, if we have young people in S1, 2 or 3 who are working beyond 4th level in Curriculum for Excellence, what is it that they do? So if they've covered all the content, their skills have been developed to a particular level, and they are confidently showing they can perform at this level, what do? Well, we certainly don't have them sitting there and doing nothing because they become bored and switched off. So what we start to do is introduce work at National 5 level. It's more complex and demanding because it's higher up the SQF framework, but they can definitely cope with it. They don't all do it, but those that can absolutely do. And then, of course, as I said earlier, it's not just Highers and Nationals that we offer here. We offer all of those other types of qualifications. And this just shows where they fit in on the SQF framework. So you can see that an HNC is level 7 on the SQF framework. So that's the same in terms of difficulty as an Advanced Higher. And level 6 on the SQF framework, where you would traditionally find the Highers. Well, there's a whole host of other courses that are there too, just as difficult as a Higher, but worth the same in terms of employers, colleges and universities. So that FA in engineering or hospitality that I mentioned earlier, worth the same as a Higher. So sometimes, and more now, rather than think about the type of qualification that's being covered, it's easier to think about the level of learning on the SQF framework that's being covered. So I'm doing science at level 6, or I'm doing engineering at level 4, or whatever. I know you probably can't remember what all of these acronyms stand for, but this presentation is uploaded on our website, so you can go back and watch it again and have a look if you need a wee reminder. So we come full circle. I hope you have a better understanding of what we're all about and what we offer. Don't worry, every time there's a choice to be made, picking a subject here or there, your child will be provided with the appropriate support that they need. We're well used to doing this. We know what we offer is good and it works. We know it leads on to lots of success for our young people. We're all wanting the same thing and the same outcome, so we will be there at the appropriate times to provide the appropriate guidance. I hope you find the other sessions useful, and thank you for making the time to watch them.